Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Alice. If you're new here, we talk about books, do vlogs, lifestyle content, a little bit of everything, alright? So if you're looking for someone to stick on in the background whilst you make yourself a meal, clean your room, or do that thing you've been putting off for the longest time, then I'm your gal. So consider hitting that subscribe button. Welcome on into the family. It is free and you can unsubscribe at any time, so go on, try something new today. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. Let's get on with today's video. Also, I just want to say I'm so sorry because I've literally been the worst. My Saturday upload was unacceptable, but genuinely, for some reason, I severely underestimated the busyness of October and it's honestly gone wild. So we are today talking about our first October TBR read. I'm still confident we're going to get the 4 books done, but because I'm currently on the 2nd book and I'm absolutely slurping that one up, so that still gives me the whole of this week to get to the end of the 3rd book and then another week for the 4th. So we're definitely going to do it. We're going to absolutely smash it. It will be possible, but this video is a little bit late. Anyway, let's move on. Today we're going to talk about Wrong Place, Wrong Time. Okie dokie. This book was really fun. It was basically like Groundhog Day, but not in reverse. So we had a bit of a time loop situation, but we actually went backwards in time, and that was super cool. I had no idea going into this book that that was going to be exactly the concept, but I feel like as soon as you start reading it, it makes so much sense, and it's really cool because you get to kind of have the opposite effects basically of time travel. It's kind of cool, it's kind of fun. I liked it. I definitely liked this book. I gave it 3 stars. I gave it a 6 out of 10. It wasn't my favorite book ever, but it still was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I don't think I could necessarily call this a thriller. I think I thought it was a thriller, so maybe it's another claim to be that. It's definitely not a thriller. It's more of a murder mystery, I'd say, but I really enjoyed it. It was a good start to October. It didn't make me scared, didn't make me stressed, and it had some good little plot twists in there. So honestly, 6 out of 10. It was a good book. I enjoyed it. So that means this book is a 3-star read. I think it deserves 3 stars. It had a really nice balance in there. If asked would I recommend this book, I would say yes. It's definitely good for someone that maybe wants to start branching into thriller, murder mystery, that vibe, because it's definitely a lot more tame than I expected it to be. So I genuinely went into this book knowing nothing, and as we always say on this channel, don't do that. Please always read the trigger warnings before you read any book. I'm just a little bit of a knob. I mean, to be fair, sometimes like certain books I would definitely check, especially in the dark romance genre, but for this I kind of just want to blind, and I know I shouldn't, but just because I do that, you know, the whole don't try this at home kids doesn't mean you shouldn't do that. You should definitely always check. So please do before you pick this book up. Honestly, I feel like it's actually quite cheap on Amazon. I know Amazon isn't the best thing to support, but like everyone's got different financial situations, everyone's got different realities. So, you know, if that's your best bet for getting your books, I think it is cheaper on there. Yeah, so anyway, I would recommend this book. I don't know if everybody would like it. For example, people that like thriller, I think maybe it wouldn't be enough. It's good for people maybe that are getting into that genre or that space. It definitely has a few other themes in there as well. Definitely a bit of a sentimental vibe going on at times. So I would say yes, but I wouldn't necessarily be like, you have to read this year. I would be like, oh, if you had this book, get a chance to read it, give it a go. It was enjoyable, it was fun. I don't know if I would be like, take it now, read it, if that makes sense. But I think that's kind of what you'd expect from a 6 out of 10 book. Shall we delve into the review? What do you think? Yes, let's do it. Trusty laptop. As always, one day we will discuss the dents, but today it's not that day. So as I said, yeah, 6 out of 10. 0 spice, obviously. There were a few mentions to source in terms of just general things you talk about as a couple, but there was no spice, so don't go looking in this book for spice. I would say probably this book does require a slightly older reader because it does have a lot of maybe complex adult feelings and understandings, so I definitely think it would resonate better with adults. It probably has an age rating anyway that I don't know, but like I said, always do your research before you read any books. Want safe and happy readers out there, okay? You have been warned, you have been disclaimed. So yes, do it. This book felt quite unique. It was a time loop situation, but actually in reverse. And like I said, I really thought that was a cool concept. I really enjoyed that. I had never seen this in a book before, or I don't even think necessarily in a film either. So good job, Gillian. We love that. I liked this book because although it did definitely have this murder mystery element, and again in my head I had labelled it as a thriller, I'm not sure if it actually is a thriller, but it definitely wasn't scary and it didn't make me panic or get worried or too tense. So I enjoyed that. It was a good start to this October spooky season reads. I can't believe we're already in spooky season. Crazy. I also liked it because it had some sensitive moments in there that I was sort of mentioning. It wasn't just murder, mystery, thriller, whodunit, that kind of thing. It was just it was a nice, well, it wasn't, I don't want to know if nice is the word, but it was a complete story. That's what I will say. I liked that this book explored all different themes throughout, and also I really liked it because you got to see a lot of different relationships between different characters too, and I really enjoyed that. So that aspect was lovely, kind of having these different things going on at the same time, and you're also moving backwards in time. It's, you know, it's a whole time thing, alright? I love the little twist at the ending, the very last page. If you've read it, you know. If not, when you get there, you'll see. It was fun. I liked that little nugget of information. This book definitely kept me entertained. It also kept me guessing, and I did really like the little plot twists throughout. I definitely didn't guess some of the things that happened. Actually, I don't even know if I guessed any of the things that happened. And you guys know what I'm like, classic overthinker, think of all of the possible situations. But this book did keep me guessing. I had one small little in the twist, like, oh my goodness. All the other ones are kind of like, oh wow, okay. There was one sort of like moment, but it wasn't like a jaw drop, oh my god, my life's a lie. Like, it wasn't that kind of thing. It was more like a oh, like that kind of one. Do you know what I mean? But it was still good and I still enjoyed it, and like I said, I didn't guess it, so I very much like that. I knew I was suspicious of people, but that's how you're meant to feel in these books anyway, and it was quite nice because I also actively did try not to guess as much on this one. So I tried to be like, think of it as a blank slate. So that is actually why I didn't really read much about this before, so that I could tame the overthinking down a little bit. We still went on a few tangents sometimes, and we had some of the right idea, but I didn't actually guess what was going on. So I'm very happy with that. I love it when a book makes me keep guessing, honestly. Keeps me guessing, that's what I'm trying to say. I love when a book keeps me guessing, so good job. It definitely was not shocking, but it was still surprising. I think that's a good way to describe this book. It was quite tame on the whole, genuinely. It wasn't too intense or out there. I still enjoyed it. I still was consuming it fairly rapidly. In the times I actually gave myself to read, I'd sit and read for a long period of time. It was just finding the time to read it. The time, wrong place, wrong time. I said here in my review, like I just mentioned, it was actually quite nice going into this book actively trying not to guess what happened, because it made it so much more enjoyable, and I'm gonna really try my best going forward in the future to try not to guess, even though my mind's like, oh, what about this? Like, I tried to be like, no, keep reading, because I genuinely love that feeling of being surprised by a book. It's so nice. I definitely feel this book would probably be suitable for most readers. I can't see why it wouldn't be, so if you get a chance to read it, then go for it. All in all, it was definitely worth the read. I don't know if I would ever read it again. I can't see myself picking it up off the shelf, and this will probably be one that I donate to somebody, one of my friends, or if one of you guys want it, you know, let me know. I feel like I've read it now, I've done it, I wouldn't go back and read it again. I'm really glad that I've read it. I would love to pass it on, you know, so get your dids in, papes. It wasn't a favourite of all time, but I liked it. It definitely was an experience, and I would encourage you to have this experience as well. But if you've got loads of things on your TBR or whatever, like, this is one of those books that can wait. You don't need to read it now, you don't need to read it in October. It can kind of be read whenever. So yeah, when you get around to it, you get around to it. It's that kind of book. So criticisms, honestly, they were quite limited in terms of actual criticisms of the book. Probably the overall criticisms that made it lose some points was the fact that it actually was kind of a little bit too tame. Also, like I said, it was a good plot. It wasn't shocking, but it was still surprising. And I just felt like probably the one thing that did lose it a little bit of points is that I felt that some of the things in there did feel a little bit easy in places. I feel like the more surprising ones made up for this, for the most part, but some of the bits were a little bit like, oh, you could have, I would have liked if you did this, or, you know, that kind of thing. It wasn't perfect in my mind, but I really did like it, and it was so unique, and I've never read anything like this. So, like I said, give it a go, you know, give it a go. All in all, it was a solid book. It was well written, clear, concise, and intriguing. So it also has so much praise, so a lot of other people very much enjoyed this book. Well, that's all I've got to share on this book. Like I said, it's not my favourite. I would recommend it. I wouldn't rush to read this, but if you happen to have it on your shelf, or it's one you've been looking at for a while, then give it a go. We are in spooky season, so if you do want to read these more mystery thriller type books, then maybe it's a good time, you know, maybe. Let me know if you give it a go, or if you've read this in the comments down below. We can have a little bit of a discussion. Sorry, I went a little bit Australian then, didn't I? Well, anyway, thank you so much for watching. It feels so good to be sat back down making my videos how I like to make them. Honestly, I'm acting like I've been gone for months. It was literally one upload. I hope you all can forgive me. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Have you subscribed? Thank you very much, and as always, until the next one, I'll see you then. Bye. Gonna get ya. So consider hitting that subscribe so you can hit